So yeah, it was something that I was shooting with my family's blessing for our archives to remember him by. About halfway through the process, we realized that the right to die was something that was really, really like wind in his sails. We didn't even know the law existed when he first asked. He was asking me to basically kill him somehow. And we found it could be done legally and by his own hand. And so we saw the change in him, which I think you see in the film. He was this helpless human being who was really down. And then as he was able to choose the day and prepare for it, we were able to kind of, as a family, assemble and have closure, but he was able to feel like an agency over his body that he hadn't had in 40 years since that stroke.
I actually had this incredible experience in reflecting on the movie, that what the filmmaker chooses to focus on and how it's presented isn't objective at all. What we saw was an entering into something personal, and the great thing I want to say is, though I have concerns about the issues, the fact that this was a loving family, the fact that there were grandchildren and children who loved and touched and knew what the importance of presence and kisses and hugs to Gigi, and there were some things about it that really do need all of us in our hospitalized world to think about in terms of the issue of care of the dependent and care of the dying.
I'm very respectful of Ondi's family. It's clear it was a personal choice, then family respected it, and up to last minute. So who am I, from my own religious perspective, to challenge someone's faith? Islam, by definition, respects everyone's freedom of choice, freedom of thinking, and that's Quran itself repeatedly says God has given this freedom. So no one should take this one away from anyone. So I'm very respectful to the family's emotions, family's decision, but from my faith perspective, Islam, we believe that our life is not belong to us. We believe that Almighty God, He is the one who gives life, and He is the one who causes death. So our life is a trust for us. We call it in Arabic, amana. So we have responsibilities given how to live our life, and as we could not decide when we should come to this world, it was His decision. So when it's coming to the ending life, it should not be our decision.
Sister Doctor, in addition to being a nun, you also are a palliative care specialist, and I know that there's a lot of discussion between MAID and palliative care. A lot of the thinking is that if we had good and adequate palliative care, we would never need MAID.
To say an act like direct killing is morally wrong does not judge the moral culpability of the person who requested it or who assisted it. Please understand, this is not judgmentalism. The judgment of the individual is in God's hands. But for the act, we know that the consequences, as I said here in Canada, and particularly for the vulnerable, are fierce. And as soon as it becomes cheaper to take a dependent elderly person, an individual who has cognitive impairment, an individual who lives in poverty, who's of color, all of those discriminatory realities in a world where health is increasingly expensive, much easier to just end life. And the care of the vulnerable and its consequences, if you don't believe in the spiritual dimension, then the consequence argument ought to make you sit up and pay attention.
We had planned for such a beautiful and good death, if such a thing can be, and I think we proved that in many ways it can be. You know, you see in the film that we speak very openly with Dad about everything. When suffering is so massive, then it becomes a question of what kind of blessing is it to be alive? And is that really honoring life?
The more we can allow people to speak about death at all ages, to experience and see films like this and understand that the natural parts of life, we can help everyone feel less alone. I thought it would be nice to end with song just because it's been such a vulnerable experience and debate even for us all. And this is a song, a prayer actually, that we hear Rabbi Rachel Timoner sing, and it's all about finding strength from spirituality and from song. So. Ozi vezimratia vayili Yeshua. Ozi vezimratia vayili Yeshua. Ozi vezimratia vayili Yeshua. Have a great evening, everybody.
Thank you.